The Louvre Museum in Paris, which was considered one of the most secure structures in the world, was robbed in broad daylight.
The hunt is underway for thieves after priceless jewels were stolen from one of the world's most famous museums.
We usually see in Hollywood movies actually happened right before everyone's eyes. On the morning of October 19th, 2025, the Louvre Museum opened to the public as usual. Guards were at their posts, and tourists from all over the world were entering the museum. At 8:30 a.m., the museum had been open for about 30 minutes when something unusual happened on the side facing the River Seine. A truck, the kind that's usually used to lift furniture to higher floors, pulled up beside the museum's wall. The truck had a mechanical lift attached to it, but neither was it there to deliver furniture, nor did the people inside have good intentions. There were 4 people in the group. They wore yellow and orange vests, exactly like construction workers, but their faces were covered with balaclavas. 2 of them, without any hesitation, extended the mechanical lift up to a balcony on the first floor of the museum. That balcony led to one of the museum's most magnificent sections, the Galerie d'Apollon, or the Gallery of Apollo. This is the same gallery where France's royal treasures are displayed, but there was one major obstacle to entering the Apollo Gallery: a thick glass wall. Once on the balcony, they took an industrial-grade disc cutter out of their bag and within seconds cut through the glass and managed to get inside. Everything happened so fast that the security guards hadn't realized anything yet. However, the museum's alarm system went off, and the guards in the gallery saw the thieves, but the robbers didn't care. They threatened the guards with their power tools and kept working. The guards immediately followed protocol and began evacuating tourists from the gallery. Panic broke out inside the museum. One eyewitness later said there was complete chaos and fear. People couldn't understand what was happening. While the police and staff were busy escorting frightened visitors out of the museum, the 2 thieves calmly broke the glass of the display cases, grabbed 9 valuable treasures, and exited through the same hole in the glass. Down below, their 2 accomplices were waiting for them on scooters. The robbers climbed down the lift stairs quickly, got on the scooters, and escaped. Everything happened so fast that no one could even comprehend it. According to the police, the thieves were inside the museum for only 4 minutes, and the entire operation, parking the truck, extending the stairs, cutting the glass, stealing the items, and escaping, took just 8 minutes in total. Before leaving, they even tried to set the lift truck on fire so that the police wouldn't find any fingerprints or evidence on it. But a brave museum staff member intervened and stopped them. The robbers then fled along the riverbank, through Boulevard Périphérique, Paris's Ring Road, and onto the A6 motorway. This daylight robbery was an unbearable humiliation for France. But the question was, what exactly was stolen from the museum? When the loss was finally assessed, a wave of grief swept across France. The items that were stolen had immense financial value, but their historical and cultural worth was considered priceless. According to the Ministry of Culture, a total of 8 valuable items were stolen from the Louvre Museum. Now, you might wonder, didn't I say 9 earlier? Yes, the thieves initially took 9 items, but one fell onto the street during their escape. That was the 170-year-old crown of Empress Eugénie, the wife of Napoleon III, made especially for her in 1855. When the thieves tried to pull it out through the hole in the glass, it got stuck because the hole was too small. Forcing it out damaged the crown, and when it fell onto the road, it got several scratches. The museum director later said that repairing it might be possible, but the loss of the 8 other items could never be fully recovered. These included Empress Eugénie's beautiful tiara and a brooch, Empress Marie-Louise's emerald necklace and earrings. She was Napoleon Bonaparte's second wife, and Queen Marie-Amelie's and Queen Hortense's sapphire tiara, necklace and earring set, plus a special kind of brooch known as a reliquary brooch. All these items dated back to the 19th century and were adorned with thousands of diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, and other precious stones. These weren't just pieces of jewelry, they were part of France's royal history. It's estimated that the gold, stones, and diamonds alone were worth $2 million, but considering their royal heritage, even $1 billion couldn't compensate for their loss. That's why they're called priceless. Surprisingly, the thieves didn't touch the most valuable items in that gallery, such as the world-famous Regent diamond, worth 51 million euros, around $60 million, or the Sancy and Hortensia diamonds. Because of this, investigators believe the robbers were working on a specific order. They knew exactly what they came to steal. The Paris prosecutor's office said the loss wasn't about money, but about France's history. But this raises the question, how could the world's most famous museum, visited by millions every year, have such a security failure? When the investigation began, shocking details emerged. French media reported that in the section where the robbery took place, 1 out of every 3 rooms had no CCTV cameras at all. Yes, in the world's largest museum, CCTV coverage wasn't even complete, and the external cameras didn't fully cover the balcony where the thieves entered after cutting the glass. But the biggest shock came when French Senator Nathalie Goulet told the BBC that the alarm that went off was actually the museum's wider alarm system. The localized alarm installed on that balcony had stopped working a few days earlier. Had that local alarm been functional, the security would have known the moment the thieves entered the balcony. The museum's director admitted to this security failure and offered her resignation to the Ministry of Culture, though it was not accepted. This robbery raised a major question mark over the security of France's museums, and it wasn't the first incident of its kind. Back in 1911, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa was stolen from this same museum by one of its own employees. He hid the painting under his coat and simply walked out. The painting was recovered 2 years later in Italy when the thief tried to sell it. That very incident made the Mona Lisa the most famous painting in the world. Then, in 1976, King Charles IX's sword was stolen from the museum when 3 robbers broke a window and took it. It has never been recovered. And again in 1998, the museum became the center of another daylight robbery when thieves pulled a painting right out of its frame and escaped. A painting that also remains missing to this day. Now, 27 years later, history has repeated itself. Currently, over 60 investigators, and according to some reports, more than 100 are working on the case. Fortunately, on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, police arrested 2 suspects with strong links to the robbery. Police had collected around 150 DNA samples and fingerprints from the scene, from helmets, gloves, and the truck's interior. The arrests were made based on DNA matches. One of the suspects also has a previous record of gold theft. Police are hopeful that they'll soon catch all the robbers and the mastermind behind the Paris Museum heist. However, it hasn't yet been revealed whether any of the stolen items have been recovered. The museum remained closed until October 22nd, but the Apollo Gallery is still shut. Police describe this as a highly organized and professional heist, and the investigation is still ongoing. We hope you'll like and share this video just as much as always. Thank you so much for your kind and loving comments. See you all in the next amazing video.